Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Iludun, there reigned a king named Akin. King Akin was a man of great power and influence, but unfortunately, he possessed a heart as dark as deepest shadow in the kingdom. King Akin is arrogant and disrespectful. He ruled with an iron fist. He showed no mercy to those who dare oppose him. His chiefs lived in fear of his wrath and is less concerned about it. Not only was King Akin arrogant and disrespectful to his people, but he also had a taste for treating women as mere objects, to be discarded at his own urge. He took many palace maids, openly flaunting his affair without a care for the feelings of his queen, Queen Iwalewa. Queen Iwalewa was a woman of uncompared beauty, intelligence, and humble. She dressed with humility and in simple apparel, but King Akin only saw her as means to an end, a way to solidify his power and secure his legacy as a king. As his infidelities and disregard for his queen continued to escalate, Queen Iwalewa's heart grew heavy with sorrow and anger. She had stood by King Akin's side through thick and thin, supporting him in all his endeavors and ruling the kingdom with wisdom and compassion. But King Akin's betrayal cut her to the core, and she could no longer bear the weight of his disrespect. One fateful night, as King Akin lay in bed with another of his palace maids, Queen Iwalewa made a decision that would change their lives forever. With tears in her eyes and a heavy heart, she turned her back on her husband, severing the bond that had once united them as king and queen. In that moment, a curse was unleashed. Queen Iwalewa walked to an iroko tree, sitting in the king's court, and faced the tree, saying to the tree, "I unleash your beauty from today. You cease to bring out leaves," and immediately the leaves on the iroko tree dried up. The next morning, in the kingdom of Iludun, King Akin wakes up to find himself transformed. His face has transformed and twisted into a half man, half animal. He stood up from his bed to check the mirror. "Abomination!" King Akin shouted. Queen Iwalewa rushed inside to check King Akin, her husband. Alas, he was half human, half animal. The news of his transformation spread like wildfire throughout the kingdom. People gossip, saying he uses terrestrial power to attain the throne. Some say he contracted disease from the woman he slept with, while some say is a curse. One of the chiefs, named Adelaja, hearing this, called the attention of the other chiefs. He said, "Let us go to the palace and check what is happening." When the chiefs got to the palace, they met the king. He has turned to half human, half animal. Abomination. One of the chiefs, named Adetunji, says, "We will not bow to a king tainted by animal blood." He protested, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "This is horrified. and bewildered. "We can't bow," Chief Olagbija said. King Akin was cast out and exiled to the dark depths of the forest. Iludun Kingdom was bordered for 8 years. They have no king to the throne. The oracle man told them that until King Akin died, before they can elect another king. So the throne was left empty for 8 years. King Akin, on the other hand, alone and altered by his sins, King Akin wandered in the forest, his mind consumed by regret and pain. He said to himself, "I was once a mighty ruler, but now, reduced to a mere shadow of my former self, I am now a pitiful creature, caused to roam the wilderness for all eternity." The spirit nature of the curse that Queen Iwalewa pronounced on King Akin was provoked. The spirit did not want King Akin to touch another woman's soul. The spirit wanted him to be forever isolated and tormented with his own wickedness. In the darkness of the forest, where King Akin wandered, his heart slowly began to change. Where he faces arches, reality of eating the grass, and trees in the forest, he began to understand the depth of his own corruptness and the pain he had inflicted upon those around him. Memories of his Queen Iwalewa, flooded through his mind, and he realized how much pain he has caused his wife. With each day passing, the weight of King Akin's sins grew heavier until he could no longer bear it. King Akin humbled himself. He was full of remorse, and his memory flashed to the Iroko tree in the palace. Then a thought of finding Iroko trees in that forest. King Akin searched and searched until he found one. King Akin was relieved. Seeing the tree, King Akin begged the Iroko tree to please help him out and forgive him, that he now realized his mistakes. But unfortunately, the spirit of the tree came out and said to King Akin, "I agree to help you, but with a great price." She demanded that King Akin prove his worth by performing a series of tasks that will test his new man and is committed to redemption. King Akin agreed to the test. King Akin embarked on a journey of self-discovery. He faces a lot of challenges and trials that pushes him to his deepest fear. Along the way, he encountered being both good and bad, each offering him a chance to appeal to his past misdeed. But King Akin gathered courage, humility, and sacrifice. King Akin slowly began to earn the forgiveness of those he had wronged and to find a glimmer of hope in the darkness surrounded by him. As the day turned into weeks, weeks into months, this transformed King Akin's heart. The spirit of Iroko have compassion on him. The spirit was moved by his sincerity, nodded his head, and chanted the word of release. The curse was broken, King Akin felt the weight that the curse has been lifted. His human face returned back to him. Then he turned back to leave the forest. He knew the lesson he had learned and the price he paid to redeem himself. He returned to the kingdom of Iludun. King Akin found a land transformed by his absence. The people who once cowed and fearful now looked upon him with new eyes. Queen Iwalewa, his wife, welcomed him back with open arms. She forgives him and he apologized to her. And the whole kingdom of Iludun, King Akin and Queen Iwalewa, worked together to rebuild their kingdom. There was harmony, unity, and love in the whole kingdom. Lesson learned. In any position you find yourself, be humble. Don't treat people with disrespect. Don't break the trust of people around you. And even so, at the end, a reminder that no sin is too great to be forgiven, and no heart is too dark to be redeemed. If you have listened to this story to this present moment, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel for more stories that will resonate with your heart and bring a peaceful mind to your soul. Thank you for listening. See you in my next video. I love you. Bye.